Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. We have a little bit of a different video here for you. Instead of doing my monthly top 10 list, what I wanted to do is a projection for the overall 2023. The fun part about this is it's pure speculation based on the information I know right now. And what we're going to do is in the middle of December, we'll go ahead and take a look back at this list and see what I messed up and what I did right. It's just a fun thing. I do have to throw the caveat out there right here at the beginning. This is not financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research before you jump into any project. Don't just take my word for it. I am not a financial advisor. This is not just giving you a green light to go ahead and dive into these projects. Do your research. I'll say that over and over again throughout this. It's just kind of what I'm thinking as far as I'm going into this, and I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea about this video. But it's a fun thing. We're at the beginning of the year. Looking back at 2022, at the beginning of the year, ended up being completely different than the end of the year. I made some bad calls, Krypton on the machine, and I made a lot of good calls. So I'm very curious on how that's going to go here in 2023. I'm going to go through a number of different projects that I think are primed to have really good years and really be assets to the Wax community. These are games that are not clickers. So if you're looking for a clicker game, a quick turnaround game, the one that's going to last a month, go somewhere else. This is not the list for you. Also, if you're looking for a game that's full of bots, again, probably not the right list for you. This is a list that's focused on entertainment, overall value, longevity, projects that I think at the end of the year will be the top games on Wax. Also, I want to let you know that there are going to be some games that are not on the list, and I'm going to get some hate in the comments about it. That's fine. That's your opinion. This is my opinion. But feel free to go ahead in the comments if I missed anything that you think should have been on the list, that you think is going to really rock out in 2023. Go ahead and let us know in the comments. Happy to take a look at those in a little more depth. There's even a project on here that when I recorded this video initially about a week ago was not on the list, and the more I looked into it, I had to put them on the list. So it's kind of funny. I was actually going to drop this video at the beginning of this week. Glad I didn't, because I made a number of changes. This list is actually quite a bit different than the list that I put together a week ago, simply because I take a look into a few projects and made some decisions around those. All right, enough giving you the caveats, enough giving you the reason behind this list. Let's go ahead and dive in there, the games that I think are going to do really well in 2023. First of all, Realm. I've been high on Realm for a long time. They are making some big changes coming up here in the near future that may or may not impact the overall project, but they have a vision, an unannounced roadmap, that there is a bigger Realm game that's coming out here in the future. So if you're not familiar, normally this is a seasonal game. Normally the seasons last between 4 and 6 weeks. They made an announcement a few days ago where it's going to be a 12-week season going forward. This allows them to focus on a much larger project within the Realm universe. Again, not announced yet. So there's some changes there. There's some adjustments, some balancing with the RLM. So there's a lot of potential here, but there's also it's really dependent on this unannounced project that's coming out here at some point later this year. I overall really love the current game that's out there. So if this continues the way it is, and then they add a great project on top of that, definitely has potential of being one of the best games in 2023. Next on the list, this is one that's I still think is kind of low on the radar and shouldn't be, but I understand why. Right now, this is Nova Pangea. It right now doesn't have a tradable token outside of the game. So I understand why a lot of people are not jumping into this game yet, but they announced at the end of February, they will be dropping the Novo coin. And the nice thing about the Novo coin is it's tradable outside of the game. It's going to open up the community. It's going to open up the game, allow you to be able to purchase things in-game for in-game currency instead of just using the creator credits. I think it has a potential of really lifting off the Nova Pangea project because it's backed by a really good team, a really active team They have multiple events every single week. They do lots of giveaways. They are a fun group to watch. Probably one of the most entertaining events that happens weekly, giving credit to them. So they have a lot of potential here. They have a strong project, great art style, putting a lot of story behind it. So there's a lot of great things to come with the Nova Pangea. Highly encourage you to check this out if it's a game that you like. So check it out. I think it has the potential of being a top game in 2023, especially with the token coming out here at the end of February. Next is Immersions. We've talked a lot about Immersions. This is one of the first 3D games on Wax. They continue to develop it. It's a space-style 3D adventure game where you do a lot of gathering, a lot of hunting. They just recently implemented the new skill and combat system, which I think they nailed. They have a lot of plans here for the future, so they're doing a lot of great things with this. They continue to develop. They have a strong core community. I'm surprised it's not a larger community just because of the style of game it is, but I think that goes along with the Wax community in general. How in the beginning of 2022, it was all focused on clickers and quick ROIs. Now that people are starting to shift towards the entertainment, understanding that we need to do the entertainment games to bring in Web 2.0 players, I think this is going to start picking up quite a bit. And if they continue to develop like I think they will, and like they're planning to, I think this has a strong future behind it. FGL, just FGL in general as a studio. If you're not familiar with FGL, they started off with iOS games, or I should say mobile games, and have moved into the play-to-earn space. They have 3 games out there: Cosmic Clash, Mecha World, and Outlaw Troopers. All have been doing well. I think every iteration of their game gets better. Outlaw Troopers actually has a skill-based side to it, which I think they're going to focus on more here in the future. Strong team behind it with a lot of track record. So I think a lot of the stuff that FGL is going to be bringing out here in 2023 is going to be solid. So definitely something to keep an eye out. The nice thing also is the FGL token integrates with all their games. In addition, they're starting to cross-use NFTs in some games with the other games, which is great to see. I think gives it a lot of potential. These next 2 games I don't play yet, but I probably should start playing. First is Forsaken. This is a card-based military-style game that has a huge core following. There's a lot of streamers that play this game, which gives it a lot of recognition out there and a lot of room for growth, especially in Twitch. We're going to start seeing Twitch being more critical with the Wax blockchain here in 2023, especially now that they're doing the NFT drops. They're testing it on blockchain brawlers. Soon, Wombat's going to be using it, and I know a number of other projects are going to be doing that. It's perfect for the Forsaken folks because there's a lot of people that stream while they're playing this, which will allow them to drop even more NFTs, get more people involved. There's a lot of potential around this, and I hope more projects start taking the approach that they are with a lot of streaming that goes involved with it. So I like the concept. I really need to get into this game and try it out. Haven't had the opportunity to yet just because of other priorities, but something I'm definitely going to check out here coming in 2023. Next is a game that I've talked about, but I don't play a lot. And this is a game I wish I had the skill level to go ahead and play. Not because you need a high skill level just in general. I suck. I've said this before. I suck at first-person shooter games. So I have a challenge, and I think I would actually hurt the game more than help the game if I was streaming playing it, just because I suck that bad at first-person shooters. But this is an awesome. This is the first-person shooter game on Wax. It's on Epic now. It has huge future. This is probably the game, other than like Splinterlands or things like that, that gets the most recognition from Wax, other than like Funko or stuff like that. So when you think of Wax games, one of the first things that comes up is Forged Arena, because a lot of people stream this also, and there's a lot of people that are interested, and it gets a lot of the pop culture right now as far as first-person shooter games. That's why I think this has a huge future. This is going to be one of those games that heads the way for the Wax community to get more Web 2.0 players on board, just because of the style of it. and because the style is so popular. So I think this, if you're a first-person shooter fan, this is definitely a game that you should check out and see if it's right for you. I wish I could stream it more. Again, I would hurt the game more than actually help if you saw me playing the game. All right, next on the list, and this is the one that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, was not on my original list, mostly because I haven't really looked at it in roughly about 10 months. When I initially did a review on this 10 months ago, it was pure clicker, so I didn't really give it a chance. Someone that's in my community on my Discord, link down below, self-promotion there, reminded me and brought it to my attention as far as the potential of this, what it's become, and what it's going to be really starting moving forward in the future here. And I'm talking about Wombat Dungeon Master and Wombat in general. Wombat's got its own wallet. It's starting to have its own game studio, producing some games available, making a lot of cool partnerships with other games. They have the new season pass. They have a lot of things that are coming out. The season 8 is about to kick off here in less than a week, and I'm going to dive into it. You're going to see some more videos from me about Wombat. Really diving in, mostly the Dungeon Master side of it, because that's the game I'm most interested. Dungeon Worlds, I'm definitely going to start taking a look at also. But this I think has a lot of potential, and I didn't give it enough credit before this video and before probably the last 2 days. So I'm definitely going to dive into this one coming here for their season 8. So definitely check out more videos of that so you can learn more about it if you're not already into it. It's definitely worth checking out because I think they have a lot coming out here in 2023 that's going to really step it up a notch. It brings a lot of utility to the community, similar to the next one on the list, and that's Taco Universe. Taco Universe has a lot of different key aspects to it. They have the Taco Swap, which rivals Anchor. They have just the staking portion of it with the extractors, with the venues that you can level up, and the collectors. They have a new one that's coming out here that's going to coincide with one of their games, Brigade. They just launched Cryptia Season 2. They have more games coming out here in the future, big roadmap. You can check out, I did a video on their roadmap coming up. So there's a lot of potential here. And the one thing that's neat about Taco is they're one of the few NFTs that continue to be produced that over the last year have either maintained their value or they have shot up in value. For example, the extractors. The farm extractor used to go for like 10 wax. Last time I checked it, it was in the 70, 80 wax range. Again, that's inflation with the price of wax, so you can't compare apples for apples. But it has maintained or has increased its value over time. They continue to develop. They have a hardcore fan base. It is a project that if you don't know what you're doing when you're first jumping in, it can be overwhelming. But that's why you have someone like me here that's going to be putting out a lot of beginner guides that are going to help you basically go through each of these different items and anything new that comes out there, hopefully to help you out. But I think this is going to be a core project again in wax. There's absolutely no question in my mind, unless for some reason the whole team just decides to change priorities. This is a project that I think without a doubt will be a core project on the wax blockchain. All right, next on the list, and this is one that has also been around for a year, and at this point last year also had a ton of hype around it. They had a little bit of a lull throughout the year because of development, but they wanted to get things right and they had to change some things around. And now that new Wax Chester is available, it is crushing it. And they have a lot of plans for the future. For example, new Wax Chester is linking to a lot of other projects, which is making this a really cool and interesting project to be into. I'm glad I never left it. There's some people that dumped it throughout the year, but New Waxchester has brought it new life. It's going to be really the first metaverse within the Wax community. There's some other ones that claim they're metaverses, but they're not. This has a lot of interaction with other projects. They're focused more on the gameplay, not necessarily the staking anymore. They're putting in some skill-based games. You have the tractor in there. You have other skill-based games that are coming here in the near future that are connected to other projects. I'm not sure yet if the NFTs will cross over. That would be neat to see. But they're continuing. They just launched their weekly challenges. A great team behind it, strong community behind it. Definitely something that I am continuing to watch and continuing to participate in. I think Farming Tales is going to be a really, really cool project to watch in 2023 as it continues to develop. All right, next on the list is connected to Farming Tales by the team itself. It's not necessarily a same company connected. There's some nuances there. Is Mining Architect and the Anouk Studio. This is not necessarily a single project that I'm focused on here, but it's going to be a group of games that are all brought to you by Anouk, the studio, which is a new company that Lycos from Farming Tales has put together. They are putting together a number of games. They're putting together a mining farm that you can connect to. A lot of real-world style projects, bringing real-world companies into the Web 3.0 space. Just as a studio, this is similar to, for example, Wombat or Taco. At the face value, they look like games, but they bring a lot of utility and a lot of stuff on the back end, which makes them leagues above the rest of a lot of projects on the Wax blockchain and a lot of other blockchains, to be honest with you. Their first thing that they're introducing here from Anouk Studios is Mining Architect, which is not just another mining game. It is connected to a real world Bitcoin or cryptocurrency mining facility in Iceland. So you have an opportunity to go ahead and actually connect into that from your perspective, since it's very expensive to do that on your own with both the power and the equipment. They're giving you the opportunity there. Plus, they've already announced that they have some other games that are in closed alpha or early alpha, pre-alpha, however you want to call it. Games that are coming out here that are going to be connected in one way or another. They have already showed with the gold VIP pass for Mining Architect will eventually turn into an all-access pass to all of the Anouk games. They've briefly mentioned some stuff around the Blockchain Chronicles and the other games that are going to be there. These are going to be coming out soon. Plus, they've also said in their AMAs that they have a lot of projects that are, or some projects, I don't want to say a lot because I don't know the details around it, but they have some projects that are going on outside of the gaming space, but bringing real world products and companies into the Web 3.0 space. So that's their focus. Their focus is connecting the two, the real world and 3.0, into one community and one economy, which I think is lacking in a lot of projects. In fact, most projects, there's very few projects that are doing anything like this, which I think is fantastic and going to be great to bring more people and get more people's trust into Web 3.0. So I think that Anouk, that studio combined with Farming Tales, huge potential in 2023, and definitely something that you should keep an eye on. Last but not least, and this could be the most impactful game. I'm not talking about utility. The last couple projects that we talked about were focused on utility and gameplay. This is a game that I think is going to really crush it in 2023 because it's a game that we've been looking for in Web 3.0. You have Mirandus, you have some of the other games that are similar to that are coming out here in the near future. But Avalon is one that's available in alpha right now. I've been playing it for a couple weeks now. For an alpha game, it's without a doubt, if you only focus on the game aspect of it, the best game on Wax. If you like adventure style, medieval style games, obviously some people are going to protest that with Forge Arena because it's a first person shooter. It's got a lot to it. I know there's some other games out there that people are focused on. They just don't have the potential of this one. This has the potential of, dare I say it, Warcraft style if they continue to develop. Don't expect that this year. Again, this is Warcraft took 10 plus years to get to the point where it's at right now. I don't even know how old it is now, but it's taken a long time. If they continue to develop this game and get the backing behind it that they are expecting to, This could potentially be one of the top games on Wax for years to come. Whew, that's a lot of good projects on there. And you notice how a lot of these aren't just pure clickers. The closest to a clicker that I mentioned was Mining Architect, but it has the real world connection. And I didn't just focus on Mining Architect. I focused on the entire company that's behind it and the other games that they're developing. Clickers are going away, or they are not going to be as popular in 2023. Please understand that. They may still be good for a quick flip, but that's bad for the overall community, and a lot of people get hurt with that. We need to start focusing on good games. Now, there are some good games that I think are going to be consistent that are not on the list. We have Million on Mars. We have a number of the Pixel games that are out there. Obviously, people are going to say Alien World. Alien World's a lot of clicking, which I don't like. I think once they add more features to it, if they potentially bring more features that are skill-based, I'd love Alien World because there's so many people backing that, but there's a lot of bots. So these are my personal top games, the ones that I just went through, the projects and the reasons behind it. I think there's a lot of potential with those. Go ahead in the comments down below if you think there were some projects or games that I may have missed that you were high on. Let me know in the comments below. Also, give me reasons. A lot of people say, blah, blah, is so much better than everything on the list. Nothing compares to it. And then you give me no reasons. Give some reasons. Come on. Plead your case. I'd love to hear that. If there's some projects out there that maybe I'm sitting or sleeping on, Wombat was one of that here. I'm happy to take a look at it. That's where I get most of my ideas is from the community. So I appreciate the feedback, positive, negative. That's fine. Leave it down below. I hope you all enjoy these kind of videos. Let's take another look at this in the middle of December, see if I was right, see if I was wrong, and we'll talk about it. I hope you all have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.